Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping right into a fascinating, highly symbolic ancient text that completely challenges our understanding of power, morality, and most importantly, what it truly means to be human, the true identity of man. So if you've ever wondered about the ultimate showdown between eternal justice and temporary earthly power, well, you're definitely in the right place.
Right off the bat, let's dive into this. We're starting with this incredibly visceral, honestly kind of jarring imagery just to plunge straight into the core of the text. It's this striking prophecy detailing the absolute, inescapable downfall of the corrupt and the mighty. I mean, worms becoming couches? Yeah, it's intense. It isn't just terrifying, it represents a complete, humiliating reversal of comfort and status.
Section 1. The Ancient Vision. So how exactly do we get to that dark and dramatic fate? Let's look at the beginning of the source text, where the speaker describes witnessing this profound celestial vision. It opens with the appearance of an incredibly ancient being, referred to as the head of days. And the defining characteristic here is his head, described as being white like wool. This isn't just about age. It's a powerful visual representation of eternal, unshakable authority and timeless wisdom.
But he's not alone up there. Beside this ancient being stands a second, very distinct figure. The text points out that this figure possesses the appearance of a man, yet he carries a countenance full of agreeableness, a presence that's compared directly to that of a holy angel. It's this unique blending of a human appearance with an undeniably divine angelic presence that really sets our entire narrative in motion.
Moving on to Part 2, Introducing the Son of Man.
You'd be naturally confused by this striking second figure, right? Well, the speaker in our text is too, so he asks a guiding angel about his identity and his ultimate purpose. The angel introduces him as the Son of Man. And just look at this definition. He's immediately established as a figure of justice, a revealer of all the treasures of secrecy, and he's specifically chosen by the Lord of Spirits. His portion, his very nature, overcomes all things in eternal rectitude. That establishes him as the ultimate archetype of divine justice. Let's unpack these attributes for a second. Notice how justice dwells with him. He doesn't just enact justice, it is literally his core identity. He reveals secrets, he is chosen, and he overcomes everything in rectitude to eternity. These specific attributes forcefully emphasize eternal truth and righteousness, and they stand in a pretty stark contrast to any kind of temporary earthly authority that human beings typically chase after.
All right, Part 3, The Fall of the Mighty.
Now, the source text doesn't just describe the Son of Man hanging out in some peaceful abstract vacuum. No way. It aggressively pits his eternal rectitude against the powerful rulers of the earth, perfectly illustrating this central conflict. On one side, you have the Son of Man, representing justice, divine choice, and eternal rectitude. On the other side, the kings and the mighty, whose identities are defined by injustice, finding power purely in their riches, and worshiping man-made gods. It sets up this total archetypal showdown between a true human identity rooted in justice and a false one built entirely on material obsession.
And the text systematically breaks down exactly how the Son of Man will dismantle the power structures of these arrogant rulers. Look at the specific actions here. He will arouse the kings and mighty from their couches, basically stripping away all their comfort. He'll expel the strong from their thrones and loosen their bands, completely removing their grip on power. And most aggressively, he will break the teeth of the sinners, essentially rendering them powerless to consume or destroy any longer. But the crucial point to ask is, why is this happening? Well, the text explicitly states they're expelled because they fail to exalt and praise the divine. More specifically, they do not acknowledge humbly whence the kingdom was given to them. Their violent expulsion from power is a direct, unavoidable consequence of their sheer arrogance. They actually convinced themselves that their power was entirely self-generated.
Which brings us to Part 4, The Illusion of Earthly Power.
Let's dig a little deeper into these earthly kings. If they're the absolute opposite of the Son of Man, what exactly characterizes this corrupted version of human identity? The text calls out their sins very clearly. They try to master the stars of heaven. They raise their hands against the Most High. That is the literal pinnacle of human pride. Consequently, all they're doing manifests injustice. But pay special attention to those middle points. Their power is solely in their riches, and their faith is entirely in gods they've made with their own hands. They placed all their trust in the temporary and the manufactured.
And because their entire foundation is just an illusion of their own making, their fate is sealed. The text tells us shame will completely fill them. Their dwelling place becomes darkness. And unlike those couches of luxury they once occupied, they're now going to have absolutely no hope of rising from their couches of ruin. It is a permanent, inescapable dead end.
And finally, part 5, the true identity of man.
So what does this highly dramatic, ancient prophecy actually tell us about the core of human nature? What's the big takeaway regarding the true identity of man? We have to ask ourselves a fundamental question based on this vision. Does true power reside in the accumulation of wealth and earthly thrones, or does it reside in eternal rectitude and justice, exactly as modeled by the Son of Man?
The source makes a really strong argument here. It emphasizes that the human identity defined primarily by wealth, riches, and self-made success is just inherently flawed. When your power is in your riches, the text claims your doing inevitably manifests as injustice. You simply cannot separate the two. A material-based identity leads straight to moral corruption. And ultimately, the result of that corruption is profound alienation. Those who cling to this false, materialistic identity, those who deny the greater spiritual reality, they end up isolating themselves. As the text concludes, they are cast out entirely from the houses of the congregations and separated from the faithful. The pursuit of self-made power ends in total dark isolation. This leaves us with a highly provocative final thought to reflect on as we wrap up this explainer. If, according to this ancient text, true human identity is forged in justice, humility, and eternal rectitude rather than riches and power, what gods have we made with our own hands today? In our modern world, are we aligning our identities with eternal justice, or are we busy worshiping the illusions of power we've crafted ourselves? It's definitely a question worth asking.